Okay, Teagan, here we go with your IM. Start with a drop, and your first streamline is pretty good right there. You've got your thumb wrapped, and you've got some strong, powerful fly kicks. The streamlines, as we'll see in a moment, on your other turns start to get looser and looser, which tells me during practice you can probably work on tightening them up overall across all of your swimming. Now take a look at the looseness in your legs. This is fly. You do that in a meet, you might not get DQ'd, but there's an official out there that has a lot of scrutiny, and you will get deked on that because you can see you have one kick that's just a little bit different than the other. So work on kicking a little harder from the hips, and then that way it usually extends the flow down to the ankles, and it's a little easier to keep it tight. Okay, so work on that. As you start to swim the butterfly, I really like the way you're landing your arms in the water. When I say landing, what I mean is bam, right there. Look at where your arms are extended to. They're aiming for the gutter in front of you, which is why we call that drill land it drill, right? Okay? There's a problem with your land, though, and that is your head is out of position. You see how your head is up? I can even see your goggles, okay? That means you're not purely in a body line position. You're not in that number 11 position that we always talk about. This right here is doing nothing more than causing your hips to sink. Okay, and you might be kicking, you might be using your strong core, and you do have a very strong core to fight that urge for your body to sink. However, it's using unnecessary energy to fight that big 10-pound bowling ball that's sticking up outside of your body line. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, let's move on to the next stroke. Well, let's take a look at your breathing. So with your head out of position there, it literally causes your body to climb up out of the water. Look at the way your body's climbing up out of the water. So you're very inefficient there just because your head's out of position. By putting your head down inside your shoulders, you're going to correct two flaws. You're going to get your body line a little bit better during the stroke, and you're going to have a better body line when you come up to breathe. Okay? All right, let's move into backstroke, which I think is a fantastic stroke. Oh, and by the way, on your turns, I love the way you drive your knees up underneath. Look at that. Bam! Bam! You're using your core to drive those knees up. You got space between your feet, which is what you want. You've never seen a basketball player jump with their feet together. There's always a tiny little space in there, and that gives you that good leverage to jump, just like you're jumping off a trampoline. All right, there's your first pour streamline. You can see your hands are not tucked. You've got a lot of open space right in here. A lot of air, elbows are sticking out. So let's tighten up that streamline. Let's get that thumb wrapped, and you'll be a nice needle coming off these walls. All right. I love the bubbles coming off the nose. That means you're exhaling. A lot of strong fly kicks. Your nose should break the surface first, and you're close. See how the forehead's breaking? But a lot of swimmers, we see the forehead's really breaking. You're close. If you can just focus on breaking the nose on the surface first, you're always going to have a good push-off. I guarantee it. Now, your breakout stroke, your first pull, we want to see that S pull. You do not have the S pull here. Watch, it's a windmill. See that? Windmill! But then your second pull is a nice S. Look at that high elbow. See it? See that? So you've got the S on the second stroke. But your breakout stroke, which is one of the most important strokes, it's to pull you into the swimming phase, is very weak because you're straight arming it. Oops, and that's going to actually probably hurt your shoulders in the long run. But as you get into the stroke, gorgeous. Look at those high elbows. Gorgeous. Head position is nice. I can see a lot of your head in the water. A lot of swimmers, we don't see that much green off your cap. See that? We don't see a lot of swimmers with that much head underwater, and that's a good thing. So excellent once you get on your way here. Good steady kick. Very nice. Nothing else to say. Okay, as we head into the breaststroke, decent streamline. Decent pull-out, but I don't think you did the fly kick. You need to make a decision right now if you want to do fly kick now, which is going to propel you like crazy, or save it for now. Oh, you do it now. Okay, you do it during the stroke, and I think that's okay. You can try practicing doing it before, which may help, may not. Okay, right now I would give you a 50-50. But one thing I notice is that your body line on the pull-out, you're that way. Now, what goes down must come up, right? You're probably going to come up like that. Look at all that travel. We want to be like a submarine. When a submarine is ready to come up to the surface and the captain says, rise, you see the submarine come up like that, okay? What can we do to fix that? What you do is, right here, we want to see you pull that chest up. So use the pull as a way to control your body and bring yourself up. And you might see less and less of, whoop, look at that. Your body is literally perpendicular starting the stroke. It is. It's crazy. You got all that drag, and you're doing that on 2 pullouts and a 50 breaths. That might be a half a second, a full second right there. So try to feel like the submarine, and we'll talk more about that in practice when you do breaststroke. Now, here's the big situation on the dive. Look at that dive. See that? All right, we got to get the elbows up and strike the gutter. And right now, your elbows are weakly coming up, and then they're diving down, as you can see. And of course, your head is out of position once again, just like on fly. Look at that. You're diving down. Breaststroke should be a flat stroke with an undulation, not this. Okay? So that's something we're going to work on in practice. You saw yourself on the other video. You kind of fixed it for a while, but you kind of went back because, I didn't reinforce it, you didn't reinforce it, and so on. There's your weak streamline, of course. We've seen that before. Let's see what happens. Finishing off breast. And head out of line, diving down. Always aim for that gutter, just like on butterfly. Now as we get into freestyle, okay, tighten up that streamline. Okay, kick. That's the first thing I saw. When you transition from fly, you didn't even really do a fly kick. You sort of tried to, but it wasn't very good. Watch this dead spot right there. See that dead spot? There's a dead spot right in here, and you've got such an amazing kick. Dead spot. And then once you get going, you're off to the races. You've got that beautiful kick until you breathe. And then there's another dead spot. Right there, dead spot. Okay? So 2 spots. 1 when you transition to the stroke, and 2, there's the dead spot. 2 when you breathe. Ready? Breathe, dead spot. Breathe, dead spot. Breathe, dead spot. You see it? Outstanding. We got a lot to work with, and it's going to only get better.